Talk about buried treasure. More than 700 rare gold Civil War era coins were found just last month in a field in Kentucky. They are now valued, listen to this, $2 million.
It is being called one of the greatest buried treasures ever unearthed in the United States. 8 rusty cans filled with gold coins from the 1800s, some of the finest experts have ever seen.
A Northern California couple found a real-life treasure buried in their backyard. Ben Tracy shows us how it will make them accidental millionaires.
They dug up a total of 8 cans filled with more than 1,400 mint condition solid gold coins.
Unbelievable. This is part of $10 million staring you in the face.
What would you do if you found $10 million?
In the last 12 months, more than $680 million of treasure has been found throughout the United States by thousands of regular, everyday Americans. But experts agree, this is just the beginning. In fact, studies show there's actually more wealth hidden below the ground than is currently in circulation above it. Yes, you heard that right. At this very moment, right below your feet, lies more riches than you could ever imagine. Up until recently, people believed the only way you could find this kind of treasure was through sheer luck or by accident. But the truth is, finding and claiming this buried wealth for yourself is actually not random at all, and you don't need any special equipment or spend years or even weeks searching for it. Instead, you just need to know exactly where to look. You see, before the 1920s, rather than using banks, the majority of Americans would actually bury their money and valuables in the ground for safekeeping. And while it's almost impossible and super expensive to try and figure out where gold or oil is naturally occurring in the earth, there is, in fact, one virtually unknown way for knowing exactly where people have buried their valuables over the last 300 years. In fact, it's the same way that Mike Taylor out in Mobile, Alabama, found over $13,000 worth of 18-karat gold jewelry in the woods behind his house, just 5 days after learning about this shocking discovery. It's the same way that Jenny Baxter in Alpine, Texas, discovered over $27,000 in Civil War era coins next to the park that her kids play at every day, only 48 hours after watching this video. And it's the exact same way that in just 8 weeks, I went from being so broke that I almost took my own life to now having discovered over $186,000 worth of coins, jewelry, and antiques in and around my little town here in South Carolina. Now, I get that this might sound crazy to you right now, but if you can put your disbelief on hold for the next 3 minutes and 19 seconds, then what I'm about to share with you will most likely change you and your family's life forever. And before we go any further, please understand, what I'm about to show you is highly classified information, and multiple agencies are actively trying to stop me from sharing it with you. Because of this, it's not a matter of if we'll get shut down, but when. So if this page is still up, you must act fast on this. And since I'm about to share a deeply personal and humiliating story with you that nearly destroyed my family, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Joe Wilson. I'm not a doctor or lawyer or anybody special. Heck, I didn't even graduate from high school. I'm just a husband and father who wanted to give my daughter and wife a better life. Never in a million years could I have imagined what would happen next. Joe, why didn't you tell me you lost your job yesterday? Honey, I'm gonna make this right. Don't worry. Did you make any money today? I'm working on it. Joe, there's nothing to eat. You can't even put food on the table. I'm trying, honey. I promise. Well, try harder. What kind of man are you? Daddy, all my friends are going to the movies this week. Can I go too? Maybe next weekend, sweetheart. Money's tight right now. But that's what you always say. Why is money always so tight? Joe, the landlord is putting an eviction notice on the door. Joe, wake up, you idiot. They're towing the car. Did you forget to pay the bill again? I just can't live like this anymore. They'd be better off without me. I thought to myself as I walked up the hill toward the cliff, ready to finally end it all. Thoughts heavy with regret and sorrow, I stepped to the edge, looking down at the rocks hundreds of feet below me. I took a deep breath, and everything became silent. Then, I took one final step forward. I felt my body start to fall over the edge of the cliff. "Whoa now, son!" Out of nowhere, I felt a firm grip on my shoulder pulling me back. "It's okay, I gotcha." With my feet back on solid ground and tears blurring my vision, I turned around to find an old man with piercing eyes and weathered skin standing behind me. I didn't know why, but the very sight of him filled me with an amazing sense of comfort and peace. "I want to show you something. Come on, follow me," said the old man. Intrigued and with nothing to lose, I decided to follow the mysterious old man who had just saved my life. He didn't say a word as I followed him down the hill, and I didn't feel like talking. I was still in shock. As we got to the edge of the woods, he pulled out an old rolled-up map from the bag that was slung over his shoulder. "What is that?" I asked, surprised. "I'll explain everything soon, but for right now, just keep up," he replied. He walked deeper into the woods until we ended up at a small clearing. "Here, clear the ground right here," the old man said, pointing next to a stack of old bricks. Even though I wasn't sure why, I dropped to my hands and knees and started brushing the dirt away with my palms. After about 5 minutes, I was just about to quit when I felt a sharp pierce of metal underneath my hand. I quickly started brushing the dirt away and soon had revealed a small metal box. I lifted it out of the ground and slowly opened the lid. I couldn't believe my eyes. There had to be thousands of dollars worth of old antique jewelry packed into the little box. "What is this? How did you know it was here?" The old man looked back at me with a glimmer in his eyes. "I pulled you off that cliff for a reason today. What I'm about to tell you, only a handful of living people know about. Let me start at the beginning." In the 1960s, during the height of the Cold War, the United States government needed possible locations around the country where they could establish a new White House should specific cities get attacked with nuclear weapons. Because of this, they created a top-secret branch of the National Park Service that was responsible for collecting and creating maps for virtually every square inch of the continental United States. The whole thing was highly classified and known only in the highest levels of government as Operation Eagle Haven. Due to the extremely high level of secrecy, they had to limit the number of people involved in the project, and so they only recruited one agent to carry out this huge task. The agent was me. Over the last 64 years, I've tracked down extremely rare and highly detailed maps for virtually every square inch of the United States, dating all the way back to the founding of this great country. It was a very fulfilling and rewarding career, and I loved every second of it. That is, up until last year. 9 months ago, my secret one-man division of the U.S. Park Service was outsourced to a huge private equity firm operating under the name Atlas Geography Group. Somehow, this greedy private equity firm had figured out that the exact maps I've spent my entire life collecting are actually the secret link to the billions of dollars worth of buried treasure that exists throughout the United States. You see, due to the fact that the central banking system wasn't a real thing in the United States until the early 1900s, and even then with World War I, followed by the Great Depression, and then World War II. Before the 1950s, most people didn't put their money in banks. Instead, they would simply bury their money and their valuable possessions in and around where they lived. Because of this, by simply knowing where people used to live over the last 300 years, research has shown that you can predict within 97% accuracy the exact location of where their treasures and valuables are likely buried as well. Not to mention the stuff that wasn't even considered valuable in the 17 and 1800s, like pottery, bottles, and coins, are now being sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. The only issue with all of this has always been that most people thought these kinds of maps had either never been created in the first place or that they had been lost forever. That was up until last year. That's when the private equity firm connected the dots and figured out that the exact maps I've been collecting over the last 60 years contain the exact locations of virtually every place that people have lived since the 1700s, and with it, the exact locations of the billions of dollars worth of their buried treasure. Believe me, when I first heard this, I thought those greedy executives were completely crazy. But part of me was also intrigued, so I decided to try it out for myself. And sure enough, they were actually right. Over half the time that I would go out to one of these treasure hotspots shown on one of these maps, I would find thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gold, silver, coins, jewelry, and a variety of antiques. Even what we found today at Jewelry Box was located using one of these maps. This is insane. Why haven't I heard of this before? I asked, dumbfounded. Well, that's the thing. Once the private equity firm took over operations and realized that the 186,248 maps that I had acquired over my lifetime were exactly what they had been looking for, they immediately hired a team of 6 PhD students to go through and convert all of these paper maps into digital copies and then destroy all of the originals. That was 6 months ago that they started doing this, and just 3 days ago they finished the entire transfer process. At this point, all of the original maps have been destroyed, and the only way to access any of these maps is through their private top-secret database. I was heartbroken. My entire life's work, my contribution to humanity, gone just like that, and all so that some super-rich assholes could get even richer. I didn't know what I was going to do until I saw you on that cliff today, and that's when it all became clear what I could do, what I must do. At that moment, the old man produced a small silver flash drive from his pocket. 2 nights ago, I hacked into the classified database and downloaded every single map onto this flash drive. The exact locations of virtually every piece of buried treasure that exists in the United States can be found on the maps stored on this device. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars worth of wealth, maybe even trillions, all contained on this little flash drive. I have no doubt that once the private equity firm finds out I've taken these files, they will make sure that I disappear under mysterious circumstances. And so, I'm giving it to you, but only under one condition. You, of course, can use the maps to find and claim life-changing wealth for yourself and your family. But you must also promise me that when the time is right, you'll share them with the rest of the American people as well. With that, he handed me the flash drive. Now, quickly let me show you how to use it. The old man pulled out a small laptop from his bag, inserted the flash drive, and over the next 15 minutes proceeded to show me everything. Now, there is one thing you must know. While these maps do show where roughly 97% of all treasure and artifacts are buried, not all of the hotspots that you see on the map are going to produce valuable treasure every time. Sometimes you'll find stuff that doesn't have much monetary value to it. So, if you go out and don't discover a box of jewelry like this one on your first hunt, just don't get discouraged. The truth is, even if you don't find tens of thousands of dollars worth of treasure every time, it only takes one find to change your entire life, and it always might be the next one. With that, he picked up his bag. I must be going now. Here's the flash drive, and here's the phone number for a highly skilled programmer named Webster. He'll help you to make this database available to the public when the time's right. With that, the old man placed the flash drive in my hand and began walking away. Wait! I yelled. What about all this jewelry we just found? Keep it. There's going to be a lot more of that coming into your life very soon. And with that, the old man was gone. I walked out of the woods stunned. I headed straight for the little antique shop near my house. The old shop owner was amazed by the jewelry that I brought him and told me he could either put it on consignment or if I wanted cash now for it, he could give me $4,800. I was shocked. I gladly accepted the $4,800 of cash and walked out of the store feeling more happy and excited than I ever had in my whole life. I quickly got an Uber to the impound lot and paid the $317 to get my car back. On the way home, I made a quick stop at the local toy store and bought over $500 worth of all the latest toys and games my daughter Katie had begged me for over the last 2 years. When I got home, seeing the look of pure joy on Katie's face and the tears of happiness that poured down her cheeks when she saw the toys, I tell you, I never felt like more of an amazing dad than at that moment. Just then, my wife walked up, and before she could say a word, I pulled a beautiful jewelry box out of my back pocket and handed it to her. I'm sorry I've been so awful lately, honey, I told her. Here's a little present to mark the start of a whole new chapter of our life. She opened the box to reveal a beautiful sapphire necklace. It was one of the pieces of jewelry we had dug up that I had the old antique dealer polish up for me. Joe, I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry for being so mean and annoying lately. From now on, I'm going to trust and support you in all the ways you need me to." We slowly embraced in the most passionate kiss we had shared in years. That was 4 months ago. After that day, I followed the exact steps the old man had shown me to find a bunch more treasure hotspots near me. I started going out on hunts 2 to 3 times a week, and within 4 months of meeting the old man out in the woods on that fateful day, I had discovered over $186,000 worth of jewelry, rare coins, gold and silver, and even some really old antiques. I paid off all my debt and moved my family out of our cramped apartment and into a beautiful 2-story brick house in the best school district in the county. I bought a brand new Ford F-150 for myself and even splurged and got the deluxe sport package for it. With my life, my family, and my finances already totally transformed within just a couple of months of meeting the old man, I knew I needed to honor the promise I made him and make these maps available to the public. Before I did, though, I wanted to make sure that they actually worked in other parts of the country, not just South Carolina, where I lived. So I decided to share this system with 7 of my closest friends and family, spread throughout different areas of the country. Just 2 weeks after sharing the maps with my little test group and walking them through the simple system that the old man had shown me, their reports back to me left me absolutely shocked. My cousin out in El Paso, Texas, found over $1,300 worth of old coins buried just 3 inches deep behind the 7-Eleven near her house. My nephew in Sunnyvale, California, found an old mason jar with over 2.5 ounces of gold jewelry in it next to a creek behind his house and sold them that day for $3,687. My best friend from high school, who lives in Garfield Heights, Ohio, found a box of antique medicine bottles from the late 1800s in a pasture just 6 miles from her home, worth over $850. My sister in Memphis, Tennessee, went out with my 13-year-old nephew, and together they found a collection of 3 old Civil War rifles valued at over $13,800. My former coworker, who now lives in Oakland City, Indiana, was able to find 13 pieces of gold jewelry that he sold to a local pawn shop for $2,740. Even my 83-year-old mom, who lives in a 55 and up community in Port St. Lucie, Florida, was able to cash in on the system by finding an old diamond tennis bracelet next to a walking path in her neighborhood. And so, with full proof and knowledge that these maps and simple 3-step system really do work no matter where you live in the country, I decided it was finally time to carry out the old man's last wishes and make all of this available to the American people. And due to the fact that these maps have changed the financial future of every person I've shared them with so far, I decided to call it the Millionaire Map System. So right now you're probably wondering, this sounds great, but how exactly do I use this Millionaire Map System? And that's what's so mind-blowing about all of this, just how easy it truly is. You see, you don't need any special knowledge, tools, or physical abilities to find and claim these treasures for yourself. In fact, several of my friends and family that I shared it with are well over 60 years old and had no problem recovering thousands of dollars worth of treasure within their first couple of days. To cash in on the Millionaire Map System, you just follow 3 simple steps. 1. First, you access the classified map database using the secure login details that we send you immediately after you purchase. 2. Next, you just locate the city or town that you want to search for and select from any of the hundreds of treasure hotspots in your local area. 3. Finally, with the map either pulled up on your phone or printed out, you simply head to the location of the hotspot you want to check out first, conduct a quick and easy search, and claim all the valuables that are there, which we show you exactly how to do in the training. Last but not least, depending on what you find, you'll simply use the Cash-In Locator Bundle that we're going to give to you to find the best pawn shops, antique stores, and precious metal dealers in your area, so you can quickly turn your finds into cash. And just remember to always circulate the pawn shops and antique dealers that you use, so they don't get too suspicious. I found that waiting about 3 to 4 weeks between visits to the same shop is usually good. And that's it. It seriously is that easy. And just so you know, I'm also going to be giving you my personal email that I check every day. This way you can always get in touch with me directly, and I can answer any questions that you ever have about any of this. Now, I want to caution you. If you're seeing this webpage, that means you can still secure your copy of the entire database of all 186,248 classified maps. But with that said, I really don't know how much longer we're going to be able to keep this webpage live. And I'm telling you this because due to the fact that all the other copies of these maps, including the originals, have been destroyed, this is the only place where you can gain access to the Millionaire Map System. We also just found out that the executives at the private equity firm are now aware of this website. And as you can probably guess, they're not happy about it at all. Right now as we speak, they're attempting to shut down this site and have succeeded twice so far. Their Manhattan attorneys are quietly seeking an injunction from a judge in Fairfax County, which would put all of these classified maps back under lock and key, away from normal people like you and me. I don't know how much longer this site will remain online. I don't know what's going to happen. But I know I will not put my family at risk. So, if you're even thinking about securing a copy of these maps for yourself, and honestly, why wouldn't you? I urge you not to close out of this page until you've secured your copy using the link down below. And let me get this out of the way right now. I'm not doing this for the money. Almost every day now, I'm still using these maps for myself, and because of it, I no longer have to worry about money at all. In complete transparency, I'm doing this because it was the old man's final request that I share this with you. And I still vividly remember what it's like to have your head barely above water, feeling like you could drown at any second. I remember how much it hurt to always be saying no to my daughter when she tried to put a $4 box of name brand cereal in the cart while we were grocery shopping. The truth is, there's no reason why anyone needs to suffer anymore. Everyone should be able to claim and cash in on the treasure that is buried right below their very feet. Which is why I'm not going to ask you to fork over a bunch of money just to get your copy of these maps. I'm not going to limit the amount of time you can keep them either. Your access to these maps will stay with you and your family forever. So, not only can you use them to create generational wealth for your family, but now your kids and grandkids will be able to provide for their families with them as well. Numerous people have told me I should charge at least $10,000 for access to this classified database, not to mention the massive personal risk I'm taking with this. But I'm not in this for the money. I want to honor the incredible legacy of the old man who spent his life acquiring all these maps, and also the incredible risk he took in giving them to me so I could share them with you. I'm doing this to get it out to as many people as possible before the high-powered attorneys of the private equity firm bend the legal system to their will and force me to shut down this website. And charging what the experts tell me to charge would disqualify the exact people I want to help, the very people that the old man wanted to help, and the very people that these maps were created for in the first place. So, you won't be investing $10,000 today to get access to this entire top-secret database. You won't invest $5,000 or even $1,000. In fact, you're not even going to have to pay $100 today. The truth is, I'm not even interested in making any profit on this at all. All I ask is that you help cover the cost it takes to pay the programmers that I use to keep this site alive and active, and from being shut down by the private equity firm. So, what this means is that you're getting instant access to everything right now, just for pitching in a simple one-time payment of just $37. Seriously, that's it. All I ask in return is you consider sending me a success story as you begin to experience the life-changing results that so many of our new members are now experiencing. Members like Jeff in Oklahoma, who just got access to the maps last week and emailed me yesterday saying, "Joe, just wanted to reach out and say, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I was really skeptical about this whole thing, but knew I had nothing to lose with your money-back guarantee. So I got the Millionaire Map System, and thank God I did. This past weekend, I found a large 18-karat gold ring in the woods across from my house and just cashed it in for $750. I know it's not a huge find, but man, does it make a difference. We'll keep you posted on my haul this week." Once you've hit the Order Now button, you'll be taken to our 100% safe and secure checkout page, where you'll enter your order information and payment details. The order form is fully protected using the very latest 856-bit SSL encryption for total privacy and protection. It's the same level of security and privacy that NASA uses for their systems. As soon as you hit submit, your customized private link to the entire map database, along with your unique 9-digit password, will be emailed to you, granting you immediate access to the entire database of over 186,000 classified maps. Plus, you'll also get instant access to the full step-by-step system, showing you exactly how to quickly and easily use everything so that you can go out and start locating and claiming your first treasure in as little as the next 30 minutes. And that's not all you're getting when you place your order today. Because you're a part of this powerful movement to put the wealth and power back in the hands of everyday Americans, I've also included 3 action taker bonuses for you as well. Consider these the first rewards of many you're about to receive for taking action right now. The first bonus is the 5-minute fortune finder. In this power-packed training, I'm going to show you how to practically guarantee that you'll never come home empty-handed from a hunt. Once you've located a treasure hotspot in your area, this in-depth video training is going to show you exactly how to carry out a quick yet thorough search of the area so you can quickly and easily locate, find, and claim the treasure and valuables that are there, usually in less than 5 minutes. If you're nervous about your ability to actually find all the valuables that are buried at these treasure hotspots, after going through this training, you'll be pulling lost treasure out of the ground faster than you ever thought possible. The second bonus I'm going to give you is the map reading mastery training that I put together. Inside this foolproof training, I'm going to show you exactly how to quickly and easily use all of the maps within the Millionaire Map System so that within minutes you can locate the treasure hotspots in your area and pinpoint the exact spot for your next hunt. If you're at all unsure about being able to actually find real treasure with these maps, this training is going to solve all of that for you almost instantly. And I saved the best for last. Your third free bonus when you gain access to the Millionaire Map System today is actually 4 bonuses in one. The biggest problem that people have once they start using the Millionaire Map System is where to actually sell all of the treasure and valuables they're finding. And with this super valuable bonus, I had Webster, the same programmer that built this site, create 4 simple tools that will help you locate the perfect place to sell each type of treasure that you find. We have our precious metal locator, which will point you in the direction of the best places to sell all the gold, silver, and coins that you find. The jewelry locator, which will identify the best consignment jewelry stores in your area for you to get top dollar for your jewelry finds. The antique store locator, to cash in on all the valuables from years past. And finally, the pawn shop locator, to help you identify the best pawn shops in your area for getting quick cash, no matter what you find. And not only are you getting all of these bonuses included totally for free with your purchase of a Millionaire Map System today, but when you place your order from this website using the link down below, you're also fully backed by our 90-day 100% money-back guarantee. It's a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee based on your complete satisfaction with the treasure and valuables that you find using the Millionaire Map System. The truth is, these maps really do hold the secret to where billions of dollars worth of treasure and valuables are buried. And the simple system that I'm going to show you for how to use them is going to make it virtually impossible for you to not find tens of thousands, perhaps even millions of dollars with this. But if for any reason you're not 120% satisfied with the level of treasures and valuables you are finding with the Millionaire Map System, we will happily refund you every penny on the spot. No questions asked. It's important to me and my family that you feel complete confidence when you order and say yes to the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that is being offered right now. That means you don't even need to make a decision right now. Just say maybe, and you'll have a full 90 days to test everything out for yourself. Simply click the button that's below this video you're watching right now and enter your information so that we can send over instant access to the entire Millionaire Map System. Now, just as the old man explained to me, I'm going to share with you. While these maps are around 97% accurate, they are not some magic spell that makes treasure appear out of thin air. You still must follow the steps I give you and use the maps correctly. And even then, just remember that every find you make will probably not be a multi-million-dollar recovery. Most of the time, the treasures you find are typically in the $500 to $5,000 range. With that said, all it takes is one good find to change your entire life, and that find of a lifetime could be right around the corner, or right below your feet. The truth is, when you click the order button below right now, you could realistically be finding your first treasure within the next hour. Since learning about these maps and using them to change my life and the lives of some of my closest friends and family, I can tell you from experience that this isn't something to be taken lightly. I made this so that it would be a no-brainer decision for you today. After all, what have you got to lose? You have a choice to make right now. You can choose to ignore everything you've heard today and continue living life the way you have been, working harder and harder without ever seeing any results, while barely scraping by and never getting off that financial hamster wheel. And if that's the route you want to take, then that's on you. But you know now that it doesn't have to be this way. Or there's the other path, the one filled with wealth, happiness, and a little adventure. We both know that nothing in your life is going to change until you try something new. And the fact that you're even here today is a clear sign that you're open to trying something new. Once you learn that you have the power to provide for your family and possess everything needed to generate income, practically from wherever you go in this country, things begin to change in huge ways. You realize you don't have to worry about those overdue bills, car payments, or everyday struggles that you've faced for so long. You realize you can eat wherever you want, buy whatever you want, and travel to wherever you want. Before using the Millionaire Map System, my life was one continuous string of bad luck. There were always money problems, which led to problems with my wife and daughter, and then trickled down into every other aspect of my life. There's no feeling worse than the feeling of not being able to provide for your family and children. Every day felt like I was cursed, as if something was holding me down and ensuring that I stayed broke, unhappy, and just downright depressed. With that said, I'm so happy that you don't have to struggle with those feelings anymore like I did. That old man risked his life to help me, to help all of us, and now it's your turn. If you'd like to finally step into this kind of life, the life you were made for, the life of wealth, freedom, and excitement, click the button below and try it for yourself 100% risk-free for the next 90 days. I guarantee that you're going to be blown away by the treasures you find using the Millionaire Map System and the way your life is changed. If not, you don't pay a single penny. It's not just a policy, but my personal guarantee. It's that simple. Claim your access now to the Millionaire Map System below, and your encrypted login details will be emailed to you immediately.